Hey everyone! Today we're going to dive into something that feels like it's straight out of science fiction, but it is very, very real. We're talking about Google's new AI-powered IDE for Flutter, and it's called Antigravity. The promise here is huge. It could totally change how we all build apps. So let's get into it and see how it works. I want you to just think about this for a second. What if your IDE, your integrated development environment, did more than just help you write code? What if it could actually understand what you wanted to do just from plain English, and then go and do it? That's the big idea we're exploring today.
But okay, before we get to the solution, we have to really get a handle on the problem. And that problem, in a word, is friction. See, even with incredible tools like Flutter that are designed to be super smooth, there are still all these little bumps in the road that slow developers down every single day.
And this quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. Your development process is only as fast and smooth as your tools allow it to be. Things like hot reload and fast static analysis in Flutter, those are massive leaps forward in getting rid of that friction. But the question is, what's the next leap?
So what does this friction actually feel like in the real world? Well, it's all the little things that just add up and drive you crazy. It's struggling with installation scripts. It's waiting for builds to finish. It's writing the same boilerplate code again and again. It's having to jump between your code, the docs, and your browser. And it's trying to set up complex tools, like the servers that let your IDE talk to the language features. These are the headaches Antigravity is built to cure.
Which brings us right to the solution, Antigravity. And this isn't just some new skin on an old IDE. No, it's a completely fresh take on how a developer should work. It's designed to go with Flutter, as the source material says, like peas and carrots.
So here's the absolute key thing to understand. Antigravity is not just about fancy AI-powered autocomplete. This is about having an actual AI agent on your team. Think of it like a new partner that can manage its own tasks, understand really complex requests, and just handle all the boring, tedious stuff for you.
The second you fire up Antigravity, it asks you this really important question. How do you want to work together? And don't worry, this isn't some permanent choice you're locked into forever. It's all about setting the initial ground rules for your collaboration with this new AI teammate.
Now, I know exactly what a lot of you are probably thinking. An AI running commands on my machine? Yeah, that sounds a little risky. And you're right, that's a totally fair concern. Building that trust is absolutely essential, which is why Antigravity has tools baked right in to make sure you are always in the driver's seat. So let's look at the two main ways you can work. The recommended way to start is review-driven development. Think of this as the training wheels mode. Absolutely nothing happens without your explicit say-so. You see every single command the AI wants to run, and you give it a yes or a no. Then, on the other side, you've got agent-driven development. This is for when you've built up that trust, and you're ready to let the AI take the wheel a bit more.
Okay, but let's get right to the scariest question. What about those really destructive commands? How do you stop the AI from, accidentally deleting your entire project with a stray RM command?
And the answer is something called the deny list. It's such a simple idea, but it's incredibly powerful. This gives you total peace of mind. You just create a list of commands like RM that will always stop and ask for your permission no matter what mode you're in. It's your ultimate safety net. So the bottom line is this: you always have the final say. Even when the AI is really cooking, as the source puts it, you can review every single change it wants to make in a standard Git diff. The same format you already know and trust. This means you can start slow, build up that confidence, and let the AI have more freedom as you get comfortable. All right, enough theory. That all sounds great, but let's see how this thing actually works in the real world. The source gives us this fantastic example, adding a fun confetti effect to a basic counter app. This right here is the actual prompt that was given to the AI. Now look at that. It's not code, it's not a complicated spec, it's just a simple human sentence describing what you want to happen. This is the new way of doing things. So the AI doesn't just start writing code like a maniac. It follows this really smart, collaborative process. First, you give it your prompt. Then, it comes back to you with a detailed plan of attack for you to look over. And this is where the real magic is. You can actually negotiate with it. You can suggest changes before it even writes a single line of code. Only after you say go does it execute the plan and show you the final code. And that negotiation step is so important. For instance, in the example, the developer looked at the AI's plan and thought, you know what, I really want this controller to have a different name. They just told the AI that, and the AI updated its plan. It's a true partnership.
You're the director, and the AI is your very capable assistant.
So, once the plan is approved, the AI just goes to work. And the result? Success. The feature is done. The final code is right there for you to review and accept, and just like that, the app has a fun confetti effect, built almost entirely by an AI agent from one simple English sentence. Pretty cool, right?
So, now that we've seen it in action, what does this all really mean for us? We just watched a simple idea become a working feature with barely any traditional coding. This isn't just a new tool, it feels like a whole new kind of teammate.
So let's recap the key points. Antigravity gives you a real AI agent that can handle complex work. It keeps you in control with execution policies and that all-important deny list. The whole workflow is built on this idea of planning and negotiation. It even helps manage tricky back-end stuff for you, and it can juggle multiple tasks at once.
And all of that brings us to our final big question. We've seen how an AI can be a partner, not just a passive tool. It cuts down on the boring stuff and lets developers focus on the creative, big-picture problems. So, is this the future? Could your next teammate actually be an AI? It's a pretty wild thought to leave you with. Thanks for tuning in.